bottom, it's normally a story that comes with that. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, sometimes you just remember some good shit. Welcome to the Bottom of the Bottom podcast.
What's good people? Y'all know what time it is, man. Look, it's your boy Jay walking the third. I am one half of the Bottom of the Bottom podcast. The other half co-host, Carolina Dirt 803. What's good with you, player?
Hey, shit, you already know what it is. It's hump day. About to get in this glass and get into this combo.
All right, you know what time it is. Like we say, man, look, I'm a little rough around the edges. I ain't gonna lie, that some bitch COVID got me, you dirty bitch. Had me down bad, man. I'm still kind of recovering. I'm in and out, so we gonna work with it the best we can. But this evening on the Bottom of the Bottom, man, look, we got a special guest, King Killumbia, man. If you don't know him, you probably heard him. Now you about to see him. This man is a rapper extraordinaire, producer extraordinaire, graphic designer, all things, you know, modern technology, man. So we gonna welcome him to the podcast. Young King Killumbia, what's good with you, brother?
What's good with y'all, man? Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Man, look,
Yeah.
it is a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. So we gonna get to this thing, man. This is an icebreaker, man. 5 real quick questions. Ain't no right or wrong answer. You know, just let people know a little bit about you without letting them know too much about you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go with, we telling ages a little bit, but A-Team or Knight Rider?
Knight Rider.
Penny Hardaway or T-Mac?
T-Mac.
Hey, quick with that one.
So Deaf for the Neptunes?
So Deaf.
Ooh.
Egg rolls or nachos?
Nachos.
All right. Last one. More afraid of heights or fire?
I don't like either of them. I don't like either of them. But I guess I'd rather fall to my death than burn.
Hey, straight up. That's my 5.
Oh, that was a quick 5. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, more scared to fall on ice or fall in the shower?
That tub is unforgiving too, bro.
I'd rather fall on the ice.
You sure?
Motherfucker be busting their head in the shower and dying. I coming and finding my body naked in the shower, bleeding out somewhere.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Apple juice or orange juice?
Orange juice.
Yeah, I had a good one. So did you used to sleep with a nightlight or a flashlight as a kid?
Neither.
Yeah, you growing up then. Yeah. All right.
It's Bane. He was born.
Yeah, 80s babies, we wasn't allowed to be scared, man.
Real talk.
Hide and go seek or tag?
Both.
All right. And the last one, just because we talked about it, a big pot of grits in the morning or some cereal?
I guess that's a mood thing, but grits, probably.
All right. Hey, that was first call. We just want to go through it real quick.
Yeah.
Just real quick. Normally it'd be highly debatable what we get at. Like sometimes we throw, you know, the Pac versus Biggies, those heavy ones in there, man. But sometimes we're gonna take it light. But we want to thank you again for coming out, King Killumbia, man.
803 all day, man.
Let's start with that, man. What's the birth of King Killumbia? Even if you got to go back to, you know, Sugar Hill Gang, what's the birth of King Killumbia?
When I was about 5 years old, I got my parents' cassette tapes. There was a Prince cassette tape, the one that had When Doves Cry, and MC Hammer. My parents had Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em.
Oh, listen, that the other day.
And listen, I got it. I got it right here in my studio desk because that's like that made me want to make music. So I look at it sometimes, and that's like that started me. You know what I'm saying? So I got the same cassette tape that I stole from my parents right here on my studio desk of the Hammer album. And I always tell people like when they ask who the king of rap is, I tell them Hammer, and they get mad because it's like Tupac.
No.
Let me tell you why I say that though, because he was the first one to bridge the color gap with rap, but he took his whole city on, and he's the first one with triple diamonds on one record. And not a lot of people, even the rappers today, they didn't say they. You can't say took a whole city and gave them a job. He changed. Whether you think the man's corny or not, the man changed hip hop in such a major way. So, and like when I talk about the verses that they're doing now, people talking about like who would go against Eminem or who would go against Jay-Z or who would go against Lil Wayne. And somebody was talking about who could go against Michael Jackson. And I was like, Hammer, because anybody, me, you, whoever, if we really practice, we could dance in the style of Michael Jackson. But that was a damn football athletic workout to dance like Hammer. That motherfucker was Mortal Kombat scissor kicking and doing all kind of like, and he was rapping the whole time. I know I was talking to DJ Prince Ice, and he said he was like DJing the Coliseum when Hammer came down, and he had like 4 dudes holding a table coming from the stairs all the way down to the arena, and Hammer was just spinning and doing that the whole time without. That took some skill, bro. So like, but that just seeing that at a young age, especially at 5 years old, that like amazed me. And then I kind of fell back from music, but just like listen to music. And I think like me being in middle school and me being white, and like when Eminem first came out, and when like I'm like, all right, if he can do this and it's accepted, I'm gonna try to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He gave hope to like white people that they could be a part of it and stuff. But I've always been like a huge West Coast fan. Like I was real big into like Death Row, and like a lot of my favorite rappers and stuff was like from Death Row or like Exhibit and stuff like that. And I didn't, me
Mm.
being from South Carolina, I didn't really get into Southern rap until after signing to Little Rue. Actually, like I was more into like lyrical rap, like Detroit rap or the West Coast shit, or like really like Eminem, Royce the 5'9", Rakim. Royce the 5'9" to me is like the God MC. I don't think nobody really lyrically could touch Royce the 5'9". So when I started, I wanted to be like the lyricist, and I was rapping in high school with this dude named Dante, and my name Devin, like my real name Devin, and he basically taught me how to rap, like how to rap on beat and how to like put my bars together. So my first rap name was Devante. So I to pay homage to him, I put his name and my name together. So a while I was Devante, but I felt like that sounded more like an R&B rapper
Yeah.
name.
Oh,
And then
Josie
so
ass.
yeah, like Devontae don't sound like a, you know what I'm saying? So I got into college around 2006, 2007, and Little Rue just signed a deal with Capitol, and I was there watching that and studying music business, and I handed DJ 9 Mil a beat CD that I made, and he wound up signing me. And before I even could produce for them or nothing like that, they was already over here in the studio and signed me or whatnot. And I remember like rewind that a little bit. I remember like when Petey Pablo came out, and that's the first time I heard North Carolina, South Carolina. Like I had that poster on my wall and stuff like that. So it's always been about South Carolina. And I remember seeing Collard Green's CD tower in the record stores, and seeing him with the Gamecock jersey on, and it's like, man, like I want to do this. And I paid attention to like Headhunter, so it made sense for the first people that I gave a CD to was Headhunter Records, and I was lucky as local, you know, them to my local idols that I got signed to them. I got very fortunate with that, and I got to watch Little Rue's Capitol deal to the Def Jam deal, and in 2000, I want to say 2010, I started working on this anthem song called Killumbia, and it was me, Little Bride, Mr. Flip, and Nadillac.
Mm.
And everybody's like, "No, you can't do an anthem. It's not gonna happen." And I fell out with Headhunter, so I shelved the song. I came back a couple years later. I hashed it out with Lil Rue. I hashed it out with DJ 9 Mil, we clicked back up, and I was back with Headhunter around 2014, and I started finishing up the Killumbia anthem. So it's me, Mr. Flip, Little Bride, Lily Bad Bad, Jim Started Golden Child, Davon, Little Rue, TD the Don, 48 Yachty, Jasmine Phoenix, Marvelous, Nadillac, and I had my girl Caress do an R&B hook. And I had so many people mad at the Killumbia anthem when I dropped that in 2014 because they wasn't on it. I didn't get PA Zoe or I didn't get Snook the Rockstar. And I had reached out to people, but you got to understand it was like a first come, first serve type of thing. And if you look at what I did, it's basically a 7-minute song. So it's 2 songs put together. So if you look at the first half, me, Mr. Flip, Little Bride, Lily Bad Bad, Jim Started Golden Child, and Davon. I did a commercial artist, a crunk artist, a street artist, a female spitter, a lyricist, and an OG. And then I flipped that formula on the second half. Little Rue, commercial, TD the Don, 48 Yachty, street, Jasmine Phoenix, female, Marvelous, lyricist, and Nadillac, a OG. So, yeah, I could have put other people on the song, but I had the first anthem in South Carolina history that covered every genre of hip-hop with the R&B hook. So I tried to incorporate R&B, rap, hip-hop, battle rap, lyricism. I tried to cover it all in one anthem and stuff. And then the name Killumbia started taking off, and people was stealing it. People was not giving credit. So I filed a trademark for it. And then I changed my name to King Killumbia because I was going by Devin Patrick because I was managing artists. And it kind of like Kendrick Lamar. I was just using my real name, Devin Patrick. But when people started stealing the name Killumbia, and I've been rocking Killumbia since MySpace days. You can go back to my MySpace page right now, and it say Killumbia on there. That's how long I've been saying Killumbia since 1998 and shit. So I just changed my name to King Killumbia. Not to disrespect nobody, not to say I'm the king of Columbia, but to say I'm the king of this word. Nobody used the word before me. You type in hashtag on Twitter, Killumbia, I'm the first profile to ever use that word. And I filed for the trademark. I own the word. And that's how it became that. So I went from a lyricist to like being signed to Headhunter to doing more commercial and crunk rap. And that's where now I'm trying to get more into like club radio type music. And like I was telling you prior to this, I want to do more of like Dr. Dre, Lil Jon, DJ Khaled. It's going to be me on the records, but not necessarily me solo. I want to like take national major artists like 3 6 Mafia, Petey Pablo, whoever, and I want to put them on songs with other Carolina artists. So like, I got Jumanji out right now with Renni, Rucci, and Petey Pablo. I got the Freaky song with Project Pat, Gangsta Boo, and Lindsey Jenningz, and I got LeChat from 3 6 Mafia on a song with me and Mr. Flip. I'm just trying to take industry artists and mix them with myself, put them on beats, put 2 big artists you like that you've never heard together on songs together.
Right.
I'm not a huge DJ Khaled fan, but I respect what he's doing, and that's the formula. Lil Jon kind of did it first back in the day. Like you saw the song I Don't Give a Fuck with Crazy Bone and Mystical. You wouldn't really see those collabs but he made it happen in such a way, and that's what I want to do with my music. I want to say maybe I might not make it as a solo rapper, or maybe I might not make it in a certain lane, but what I am going to make it is I'm going to make anthems that are going to be remembered. I only put an album out every 2 or 3 years, and I'm winning music awards for albums I did 2 years ago because I want to make anthems that are time-worthy. And I want to have all of South Carolina, Charleston, upstate, the Midlands, all that mixed together with other celebrities. So I'm kind of giving back and helping bridge the gap with major artists on the records too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to make I want to be known as I use the word anthematic. I want to be the anthematic artist and shit. Yeah. So that's basically what I'm doing right now.
Producers started taking over like you got to look at all the groups that came from NERDS, Neptunes, like they was with the Clips, cause like. And I think that is one of the biggest things that benefits you for taking that angle. Yeah. Like you didn't even really have to say I don't fuck with Khaled. It's more along the lines of you get more vision
Yeah.
but not locking yourself
Well,
into
it's not that I don't fuck
one
with
genre.
him. I hear the song titles with the artist. I'm not too familiar with everything. I see what he's doing based off the title alone. You know what I'm saying? And I'm real big on respect. Like, if anybody ever tell you anything about me, I've always, my first album I did up under Headhunter and Little Rue, and I think, like, outside the Killumbia anthem, I made sure I went through and got almost every founding rap father of South Carolina and got them on my first album. And I tell all my artists, man, I don't wanna rap with these artists. I don't know them. They're before my time. Bro, you're paying homage and you're getting connections. And a lot of these artists still hold keys to the city, and they still in good with the DJs. They
48
still
Yachty, Piezo,
Yep.
everybody you name.
Yep.
Everybody you name still get love.
Yep. So I feel like a lot of this whole new age shit is trying to disrespect the older artists, and I feel like you can't do that, man. And one thing that, like, Little Bo, the owner of Headhunter, he tells me all the time, look at like what Project Pat's doing. He getting on songs with Dolph. He getting on songs with all the and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get some of these new age artists and some of the SC legends and stuff with some of the majors and kind of mix and mingle it, man. But honestly, man, these new artists, the respect is like a big gap right now, and you got to respect the ones that paved the way, because you wouldn't have this without a Collard Green. You wouldn't have this without a Mr. Flip. You wouldn't have this without, I don't care what you say about Lil Root, you wouldn't have this without that, because certain things had to happen in order for it to be what it is today. And a lot of people don't realize that. They don't get it.
I think that's the thing with it. Oh, I was going to say, I think that's the thing, like with Pastor Troy. You remember Pastor Troy first came? He was on Everybody from Down South's first album.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you don't hear from Pastor Troy no more, but he was on everybody's local between Augusta, Atlanta, South Carolina, Florida. He always stayed relevant.
You can tell today that, you know, if you listen to his interviews and his songs, you can tell today that bothers the man. And, you know, if you look at if you flip over the back of the Clubber Lane album, you can tell he has my name on there. I did half the mixing and mastering for the Clubber Lane album. He was recording here for a while, but you can tell he mentions that, like, everybody that came out of Atlanta had to go through him to come out, and then they don't want to put him on his stuff. And Future had that shit remix, the ATL, and they had everybody, even Drake and Rick Ross on there. I tell you what, Pastor Troy fucked them all up on that song. His verse fucked them all up. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, me and Troy have had our disagreements, but we've done a lot of business together. But man, there wouldn't be Atlanta without Pastor Troy. Just like there wouldn't be a South Carolina without a Collard Green or a Little Rue. Like, but you know, at the end of the day, Pastor Troy did he founded the gangsta Southern rap thing. He was the first one to, like, I mean, he kind of hurt himself with that, but it forced him to be ahead of the game, because it forced him. We in more of an independent market now, and it put him in the mindset after the Master P thing to learn how to do it early, and that man's gonna be paid for the rest of his life. People say rappers are old or washed up. They forget they still megastars in Germany. They still megastars in Japan. They still megastars in China or wherever else. Like, you know, once you have that one song, you good for life.
Good for life.
Yeah.
And then it's dope because, you know, he had what was that? Coachella. Beyonce was doing it too.
Yep. She came out. They had like a little remix to "We Ready" on there.
Yeah.
Yep. And then right after that, you see he's being real. He's more successful now. Right after she did that, Jermaine Dupri brought him out on the Super Bowl, and now he's signed on with the whole state of Georgia. He come out on every game, and now he making them moves again. So, like, you go through dips in your career, but if you stay at it, I mean, especially being a legend, I mean, you never gonna fade.
Right. Yeah. Some of that shit is like, and I think that's the problem with a lot of these young kids. Like, it's definitely instant gratification.
Yeah.
You can go home, you can record a song, you can post a song, and you can do that shit 3 times a night for the rest of the year. What they don't always understand is there is a part of it that's gonna be business. So while you don't know about these older artists, what I would tell you young guys is do your 16 and get the fuck on through.
Yep.
You feel me?
They ain't even doing 16s no more.
I mean, even you're right. They doing like 7.5s. with like another 2.5 in ad libs, but it's more or less like I don't think history is a big thing no more, man. Just like even outside of music, and I don't want to get into politics and shit. They right now they trying to dismantle history in the world.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's not even their fault. You know what I'm saying? But it don't hurt you to support no fucking body. And while you thinking that you doing a favor for this old rapper, your shit might blow because of this old rapper.
Yep.
You feel me? So I feel you. I mean, I like the track that you on. The Jumanji shit is dope. Like,
that
and it's
actually
more
is nothing
like
compared to
world
my
music.
discography. We did that to try to get on the soundtrack for the movie, but
Right.
like that sounds like nothing. You know, it's a dope song, but like you got to go into it with the mentality of this ain't Freak a Leak, this ain't Renni Rucci. Like this is
Right.
a movie soundtrack song. So when you hear it, it's something that you can play in front of your kids. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's how I know you got levels to your craft. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's how I know you've been putting in work because it was definitely, it sounded like a motion picture
Yeah.
soundtrack song. It definitely is gonna play internationally like crazy. You
Yeah.
feel me? Because of the type of music it is. So I just wanted to shout you out for that one.
No, I appreciate it.
It had kind of like on some old Outcasts when they started incorporating gospel and country. Like you got so many different sounds in there. It's like you can't just strictly say, "Well, that's drill music. That's a club southern mix. Like you got so many different sounds in there that it's almost like on some Flow Rider shit.
Well, you
Some
know what's
international
crazy?
beats.
What's crazy because it kind of has them Timberland drums, and that's really what made Petey Pablo. But like, and me being a big Petey fan, and I've been fucking with him for years. We be talking and stuff, and I've done some graphics and stuff. But like, this is like the first song we did, and I didn't realize that after I made the song, King Killumbia, Renni Rucci, Petey Pablo, KK, RRPP, like it just, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we got Chris the King on the hook. And the only reason why he wasn't credited is because, like, when you type in names on the computer, you can't go past a certain amount of characters. But shout out to Chris the King because, you know, he deserves his credit for that. And he did an amazing hook. We sat here in the studio pacing back and forth, writing that hook and trying to make it as anthematic as we could. And he did an amazing job on that hook, man. He definitely deserves all the love and respect. And the guy that did the graphics for the cover for Jumanji did
That was hard.
did Eminem's artwork. He actually got signed to Interscope, so I had Eminem's cartoonist do the artwork for the Jumanji record.
How long it took y'all to do it?
The Jumanji song,
Yeah.
that was the quickest record because I had all that COVID money coming in. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Renni Rucci at her prime right now, you know what I'm saying? That was a bag to get her. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, Petey Pablo he charged me a good bit, but he gave me love on it. And the cover, I'll tell you this, the one price I'll give you is I paid about $1,500 for that cover because it's hand drawn, but it's from Eminem's cartoonist and stuff, and he an actual like Interscope designer and stuff. He did the cartoon Godzilla with Juice WRLD music video, and he did the Eminem Tone Deaf music video, like the cartoon video for that. But I just thought it was dope to put me, Renni Rucci is the future, and people forget about Petey Pablo, and like that motherfucker was hitting. Like his record's still hitting, man. Like I had to play his record sometimes, and people be like, "Fuck, I forgot how dope he was." I'm like, dude. That I can listen to that whole first and second record front to back. Like Petey Pablo was dope. He one of my idols, man. And like I always felt that he always delivered good content and stuff. And you know, he did that Carolina Colors Panther anthem when they was going for the Super Bowl, and I did the side artwork for that. And that shit, Timberland retweeted it. Now that was a big moment for Timberland retweeting the artwork because I'm a huge Timberland fan, and fucking it got put in the ESPN, the artwork, and the Rolling Stones and stuff. So shout out to Petey Pablo for that. That was dope. And shit for helping me get that artwork in ESPN and Rolling Stones and shit.
So how do you, when you making your beats, are you Do you have to have a certain mindset when you go in
Well,
there, or are you constructing it over a certain time period?
the beat for Freaky and the beat for Jumanji, I actually bought that and had it
Oh,
made.
okay.
But typically my beat process, and this is something I've been struggling with, is not modern. I still have more of that, like, if it's not traditional hip hop, it's in that like Little John Crunk era. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I want to get back into producing for the public full time, I need to really modernize my sound. It's been hard for me to adapt to like the mumble era and some of that. Like it's been hard for me to do that. That's why I've tried to stay in my lane. Like I said, I don't mind throwing my age out there. I'm 35 and I've seen so many rap styles from the 80s to now, and
All of them.
I don't want to be. I think a lot of these rappers now in my age bracket are trying to dress and compete with the kids, whereas there's still a market for somebody like look at 2 Chainz or whatever. Like you could still. I'm not trying to dress like a 16-year-old and make music for a 16-year-old because a 16-year-old is not gonna look at me and relate to that. You know what I'm saying? So like
Right.
when you listen to the records, I'm not rapping like that. So, but when I make some of the beats that I rap on for myself and stuff, I really like I put the headphones in, and this kind of goes for me being an engineer too. I would sit there on the school bus, and I would actually be on the school bus, and I didn't have like no Sony's or nothing like that. I'd actually have my studio headphones on the school bus, and I would sit there and I would listen to how other producers and even rappers, like if you listen to the way, like Jumanji isn't a good example because I'm monotone through that. But you listen to the other songs where I'm screaming, I kind of sound like a white Little Rue or a white Mystical or a white Pastor Troy. I'm like looking at how they're panning their vocals, or I'm looking at how they stacking. But I learned a lot from Dr. Dre and Timbaland on how they would put 3 or 4 claps or snares together, or how the strings would be reversed, or how like I would sit there on the school bus with the headphones and I would push them to my ears and I would listen to how they would pan stuff or how they would make unique songs. Or another producer, I don't he makes amazing music, but not for me. But like Ryan Leslie, I will
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
him on YouTube make beats, and this motherfucker will put pennies in a cup and shake them and make the shakers. And I'm like, that shit's always amazed me to see these producers do stuff like that. So like when I make sounds or like pick sounds, and you can kind of see the keyboards back there and stuff, like I try to pick out sounds that you wouldn't normally hear. Like I got the Motif and the Rolling Phantom, and when I listen to a lot of rappers' albums, I can tell you what songs came off of what keyboards because I've had the keyboards for years. But I want to be like Timberland, where you can't tell where the sound come from. It just sound like his sound.
The
You know what I'm
future.
saying?
Like him and Pharrell, that whole that Neptune's, Timbaland, those years were probably the most futuristic. Those years
Yep.
jumped hip hop forward to where it is now. You feel me? And I get what you're saying. Like you can't really turn back your own clock.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We came up through pretty much the best era in hip hop.
I agree. Hey,
From-
the '90s was the greatest era.
From 84 to 2005, I feel like that's the greatest hip hop you ever heard. That's
You know what's crazy?
that's how
You say that. I tell people, and I've changed it now, but for a long time, before I went commercial, when I was doing hip hop, I told people for a long time I quit liking new artists after 2005. Now I've changed
Right.
that here recently, but it's crazy you said that number because I told people for a while there was no, and I hate to say Lil Wayne, I feel sometimes like he ruined hip hop with like drinking the lean and going in there and freestyling, and it just like coming out to be a bunch of mumble stuff. I feel like that kind of set a trend for rappers to not try to write, for rappers not to come in there prepared. And it works for some artists like Jay and Wayne, it works for them. But as a studio engineer, I can tell you that there's a lot of rappers that come here trying to freestyle, and we in here 3 hours on one verse, and it just like it ain't working. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I want the talent to come back. I want people to show their pen game. I want people to like really put an effort into writing music. DJ Prince Ice tells me all the time, no matter how commercial you go, you can't take the hip hop away, because I hear a punchline or a metaphor slip into one of your lines, Devin. You know what I'm saying? So like, blend. You can always learn something from the past, and I want these kids to understand. I mean, these old heads, I can't listen and just kind of make it your own. You know what I'm saying? There's something to be learned in everything in life.
But and that was the other thing, because me and my brother, we talk about, and we always say this, our motto is, regardless if we hit record or not, we still gonna be doing this. So we sit back with our pops and we listen to the OJs, we listen to Al Green. Like my dad pointed out, what was the OJ's track with slave ships?
Man, Chip Ahoy.
Ship Ahoy. At the very beginning, you can hear the ocean waves and the clanking of the chains with the slaves. Like music right now, you can't hear that.
There's no musicianship in it anymore.
Yeah,
you feel me?
So I think it's taken away because the mumble allows you to make words rhyme that's not supposed to rhyme.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you listen to a lot of my records, I still do skits. Like, there's a song I got called Yo Bitch, and you hear me talking like the guy about to get head, and then you hear the girl talking, and then the song starts. Like, I miss the skits. I miss the little interludes. I miss the characterization of making the album. Come on, man. And I've learned, and it took a lot of practice. I learned to be able to go in there and freestyle or improvise the intros to the record and make it sound attractive. Like, you know, sometimes people just go in there, yo, what's up? Turn the headphones up, and it just sounds like they reading off paper. You know what I'm saying? I've been able to like learn to just off the top of the head make it sound natural with the voice, man. And I kind of miss that. I miss going to the record store and buying the CD to look at who produced it, what the artwork was. They had the posters in the middle of it. Everything digital now. You don't get to enjoy that era of music no more, of getting the vinyl or getting the artwork with the CD or none of that shit, man. You don't get that no more and stuff. It was like when you buy an album, you was getting like a little book with it. You know what I'm saying? Like before I could even get home, I remember busting the album open, looking at it and trying to learn, you know what I'm saying? And you wouldn't believe how many people contribute to a record. Like these rappers think they can just go in the studio and freestyle something. And I remember when Lil Ru was doing the Nasty song, that was really supposed to be Capitol Records, and it never got turned in on time. So it kind of slipped through the crack and went with Def Jam. But I can tell you that Def Jam went and made him go back 4 or 5 times and make different versions. There's 4 or 5 different versions of the Nasty song out there. And that's how much work a team of people get into making a hit. A lot of rappers want to sign to a label, like I was telling you on the phone, but then they don't want the direction, or they don't want to change nothing. They don't want to listen. Get a group of people that have credentials, that have success. Let's make this hit together. I believe you should write your own lyrics, but there's nothing wrong with someone helping you. My hook game is crazy. There's times I write hooks for some of my artists, and that doesn't mean that they can't rap. I just came up with something a little catchier than they did, and I want to make money off this shit. You know what I'm saying? So
indeed,
save the hook you had for another song or for a mixtape, and let's use this hook for the radio song. You know what I'm saying? There's times when people throw me an idea, and I'll scratch it out, and I'll put it in there, and I'll give them credit. And that doesn't mean that I can't rap. It doesn't mean that I have a ghostwriter or nothing like that. I just feel like if you want to make hit records, it takes a team. And if you look at producers like Timbaland or Dr. Dre or even Pharrell and stuff, it's not just one producer. They got someone playing the bass, someone playing the guitar. So you know what I'm saying? Like these labels got a team, is what I'm saying. Like it's a super group of everything that you hear to make that big sound and stuff.
I know it's like Master P when they were talking to I think they were talking to Fiend, and they were talking about No Limit Soldiers. Well, a lot of stuff that came through No Limit, and he wasn't the only one. A lot of groups back then did it. It was whoever had their shit done first.
Yeah.
And everybody in the group was so hard, it would make other people rewrite their shit.
Yep.
But now it's like, I'm going to put it down regardless. I don't care if it sounds like garbage. I'm going to put it down instead of taking 17 pride.
years old. You 17 years old. Your mama bought you a fucking Mac. You don't deserve that motherfucker. You don't deserve it. And you got this $3,000 Mac, and you literally can go in a closet, never having performed, never
Yep.
having done it in front of nobody, and you can drop a song every 30 minutes if you want to. And I feel like that's where music is at right now.
Yep.
It seems like everybody is microwaving some shit. Nobody's trying to give the album feel anymore. You feel me?
Yeah, well, hey, it is coming back a little bit, and that's one thing. When people ask me what really destroyed rap, I say technology, because it used to be you had to have talent to get sponsored or to get a deal to pay to get into a studio because it was unaffordable to get in a studio. Now you can go to Walmart or Best Buy and get you a USB microphone and some bootleg program, or you can just
Right.
bootleg Fruity Loops and make some beats and record on there. This shit is not meant for everybody. And I tell artists that, like, the day you pick up a pen and you record, you subject other people to talk about you. People talk about me, all the other people, man, this white motherfucker, he sucker. This motherfucker think he the king of Killumbia. What? I don't give a fuck, bro. I fucking just block him or ignore him and move on. At the end of the day, ain't nobody in this state that's doing better than me talking about me. Because they too busy being successful at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, dog, like, research. You will, like, why do you think the top producers, they usually sample stuff from records from the 50s, 60s? Like, everything that happened before came from an era where talent was there. You know, and it's funny, y'all were talking about other musicians and stuff and other songs where you could hear the waves and all that stuff. Like, most producers that you think run trap music or whatever, they like pop music, they like rock music, they like, you know, R&B, they like soul. Like, real musicians take a little bit from everything, gospel, and they will put it together and make their own shit.
Outkast, when they came out with the what's the shit with Dre with the pads?
The who?
When Dre had the pads on Outkast joint, it was Rosa Parks. Bombs Over Baghdad. When Bombs Over Baghdad
the
came,
football.
yeah, when Bombs Over Baghdad came, that shit destroyed it. But I got a partner. He used to well, he still do. I don't know if he still do it. He was heavy in the beats. He was heavy in the sampling. He was heavy into everything you preaching. And he would come by the house and holler at my pops. And him and my pops go on their own little storyline, because my dad still has crates of records, original vinyls.
Real vinyl.
So my homeboy used to make beats in the basement.
Yeah.
And I used to go over there at 2 o'clock in the morning. And he's hitting his keyboard so hard that bitch is shaking. And he'll be like, I'll be like, man, that shit hard. He's like, I don't like it, delete. But he took that much pride in just the beat alone that when other people would come over and play their beats, he would show them respect while they're there. But on the back end, because I don't know, I'm asking questions, he's just being truthful. He was like, nah, that shit ain't good because of this, this, and this. And
see,
I can't do nothing
I'm not
but
like
respect
that. People get mad at me sometimes because I'm brutally honest, and I'm dictionary verbiage. I'm like, I'll tell you the real word of what it is. And sometimes, like, you know, Big Pa over the Killumbia TV series, he was like, man, a lot of people say you an asshole and stuff, but I'm like, I'm really blunt. Like, I don't mean to be an asshole, but if you ask me what I really think, like, if this was a podcast where we're reviewing music and people asking what I really think about it, I'm gonna use my credentials, my experience, and what I think would sell, and I'm gonna tell you the fucking truth on it. And I'm a judge off the artwork, off the studio quality, and off of the beat, and off of how it was mixed and mastered. I'm gonna go through it, and it's not that I'm putting it down, but if you come over here with beats, I'm gonna tell you, like, you know, really, I have a lot of people throw me beats or ask me to email me beats. And they're like, why don't you use a lot of South Carolina producers? And it's just like, it ain't that it's like not good beats, but a lot of them don't know how to mix and master this shit properly.
Quality.
Or they don't understand the percentages, or they don't have their paperwork together. And the people that I'm doing songs with, like 3 6 Mafia, like, I can't take a risk and all that, not having the paperwork together. But shit, I tell you right now off the top who I would get beats from in South Carolina would be DJ 9 Mil, number one. I think Chill Go Hard is dope. You know, he's come over here a lot. Like, he used to run with somebody across the street, and he'd be on this side of town and shit. And matter of fact, the night that he got shot and they put it in the XXL magazine, he had literally just left my studio like an hour or two before that and I think Chill got some of the dopest beats and stuff. I tell you, man, really, I know like who else coming up making beats? Little Bride, he don't really advertise it, but that motherfucking nasty, like
Okay.
he Little Bride nasty with the beat production and shit like that. But a lot of South Carolina producers just lack the business and the paperwork, and that's really why I don't work with a lot of South Carolina producers. Plus, I have access to a lot of national major producers that have like platinum records, and it's like they giving me beats because they want
already
me
cleared.
Well, like yeah, like okay, like the dude that did Ice Cream Paint Job and did a lot of Lil Wayne and Doro stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He throws me beats a lot, and then my homeboy White Noise, he does shit for like Yellow Wolf and Bubba Sparks and stuff.
Yeah,
He'll throw me beats, but he knows I'm gonna get a major on that track, and that's gonna add to his resume. So it's like a 50-50 exchange and stuff like that. And I wouldn't mind doing that with the South Carolina producer under the right circumstances, but the paperwork gotta be right. And like, I got Fruity Loops on here, but I'm gonna tell you, like all this. That's the Rolling Phantom, and that's the motif, and I don't know if you can see, but like I got the keyboards right there, and then I got the drum machine and all that up here. But like if we gonna be like making beats and stuff together, it's got to be on some hardware. I don't want no damn internet, like not internet, but I don't want on no Fruity Loop sound like an old 80s Casio instruments. Like I want my violin to sound like a real violin.
Years,
yeah, I want my
the
piano
big Draco
to sound like
years.
a real piano, like. And a lot of South Carolina producers don't want to invest in hardware, and I'm real big on the instruments sounding like real instruments and shit.
Right.
That's cool. As long as you got the bottom liquor there, I'll be there to supervise whoever there.
Hey, shit, y'all got to come through for a session or something next time.
Yeah, we can do it on location. We can do it on location.
Nah, but
man, look,
that'll be dope, man.
So how do you feel? Do you since you're on both sides of the coin, and somebody introduced you to the track, which one hit you harder first, the production or the lyrics?
I'm gonna tell you nowadays, like me coming up, wanting to be a lyricist, obviously the lyrics, but now if the first 3 to 5 seconds of the beat ain't hard,
my brother said that several times.
Yeah, bro, if the first couple seconds ain't hitting, I don't care. You can, and that's sad because I feel like I miss a lot of good music because the intro changes, and the verse be hard, but the intro sucks sometimes. But
you still got the metronome.
Yeah, like I don't. And I'm gonna tell you one thing I learned with like doing club flyers or learn just in general, like with websites, like because I do website design too. People's attention span is like 3 to 8 seconds on the internet. So like if you trying to pump your song on the internet, especially them flipping through Facebook stories and stuff, the first 2 to 3 seconds got to be hit, and the people they just gonna skip it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I hate that because like some of the beats I like real orchestrated instruments and stuff. That's why I like producers like Dr. Dre, because I like them strings and that brass coming in, and then it hits. But like nowadays, if that bass and that snare just boom boom, like if it ain't like hitting, people skipping it, bro. I feel like the beat got to be the most important right now.
What I've noticed, T.I. did it on that the album before Libra with Trap Back Jumping.
Yeah,
you see on YouTube, he went with a live band for the whole album.
Mm-hmm.
He did the whole album in a recording studio with a live band. The band was $1,500 and grand or something like that. Okay. One of the dudes done died. Dude, it's 3 dudes, a keyboardist, with one dude on keyboard, one dude on guitar,
and the drummer.
And the drummer. I think the drummer died. And T.I.'s in that bitch sweating in the studio, and they do the whole album. But when he got the Trap Back Jumping, you could tell the energy of raw instruments. You could feel it. Like you could tell when somebody catch the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
Well, it's
and
like
you can tell T.I. felt it.
You can blame MTV for some of that shit, because why isn't there any more MTV Unplugged? Yeah. MTV Unplugged should have been an institution that lasted forever.
Yeah.
You got, whether you like Jay-Z or not, whether you like Linkin Park or not, that Jay-Z Linkin Park shit went crazy. Yeah. You feel me?
Well, a lot of things happened before their time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's more or less like this, man. We
Well, they
coming
do got
down
Tiny
towards.
Desk. They do got
What's
Tiny
up?
Desk.
Yeah, and Tiny
Tiny
Desk
Desk-
is gonna bring
You
back.
ever watch? Yeah.
It's gonna bring back that authentic music. Like
You ever
we say
seen
it
it?
all the time.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's
Bruh.
like they're in the library
Okay.
and they just plugged in.
Yeah, when you get off of this shit, go check just Tiny Desk. Start with Anderson .Paak.
I
You'll
was
watch the
Anthony
rest of
Hamilton.
them.
Okay.
Yeah. Rick Ross
You'll
done
watch
did
the
it.
rest of them.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I want to speak on something real quick that I thought about, and I talked about this in like an interview like a year ago, and I don't feel like it's touched on enough. I don't feel like hip hop is dead. I feel like hip hop is very alive. But I'm gonna tell you this, man. I managed a couple lyrical artists, and I did a trial with them. Who says boom bap has to be the sound of hip hop? Like that is where it started from. But so I would record my lyrical rappers, and then I would put their acapellas on new age beats, and
Right.
they're still being an MC. And the ones on the new age beats would still go further. So I'm like, it's cool to have the sample beats and it's cool to have the boom bap. But I think if more rappers like Jay-Z, Nas, or whoever, if they got on some of the trap beats or some of the new age beats, like it would influence some of the upcoming lyrical rappers or lyricists. Like you don't have to be boom. Don't say hip hop's dead in 2022, or don't say people don't want to hear content. It kind of goes back with the beat, and you can be the same lyricist, but on like Jetson Made, he makes some of the baby stuff, and he's from Carolina. Like you could be Nas on a Jetson Made beat, and it still be hip hop. Like some people
sure.
don't want to hear the boom bap stuff because some of these kids can't relate to that sound because it's not from their era. I wish I'd see more lyrical rappers venture off into like new age beats, but still be lyricists. You know what I'm saying?
Fat Joe did it. Fat Joe lasted another 5-6 years
Hey, I
because
ain't
he
gonna
understood
lie to you.
it.
I ain't gonna lie to you. And people laugh about this too. I'm a big Ja fan because I feel like Ja is an actual artist, and
Yes,
I hate
he
it
is.
because me being a big M and Dre fan, I was also like a 50 fan. But lyrically, I feel like Ja Rule will fuck 50 Cent up. Ja Rule is a real artist.
Right.
Cut the singing out, just like raw Ja Rule lyrics from his
Yeah.
whole catalog.
Yeah.
Ja Rule will fuck him up.
Yeah,
but
Vinny
like,
Benavici.
but like when and that's the album that the first song I heard from Ja was Let's Ride, and the bass was crazy on that. Like the bass was like trap bass now, like you know what I'm saying. Like when I heard it, Let's Ride, and going on tour with Lil Rue and DMX and Ja Rule, to being on stage with DMX and Ja Rule, that was like I got these tattoos right here. Pain is love, love is pain, and because Ja one of my idols, and after going on tour with him. And he followed me on Instagram. I can show you where me and Ja be talking and shit like that. And I feel like people didn't appreciate him because he was before his time. But he is an example of a real artist. That motherfucker, you feel... I like rappers where you hear the emotion in the voice. Like, you think about Tupac, you hear him scream, but then you hear him like, Dear Mama, you hear him sad. And
We talked
Eminem
about
can
that
do
the
it.
other day.
Tupac could do it. Ja could do it. There's a lot of rappers, even Royce, even on his lyrical shit. You can tell when he's angry. You can tell when he's like in a loving mood and shit like that.
Shit,
I want
that
to hear
first
the
T.I.
energy.
album. We talked about that. That T.I. first album, that I'm Serious album.
Yeah.
T.I. I'm Serious first album was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you connect with people, though. Like, you got to give people what they going through. Because there's got, like, when I'm working out, I want to hear stuff like Pastor Troy, and like I want to hear shit like DMX and stuff when I'm working out. I want to hear some angry shit when I'm working out because it makes me want to like. I'm a small dude.
hard.
I'm trying to get pumped. You know what I'm saying? So I want to hear shit to make me pump. But like, not everybody want to hear selling dope and killing people all the time. You know what I'm saying? But like, and that's the thing with like hip hop. Like when I listen to a Nas record, and Nas is one of the god MCs to me. Like I got every Nas album, but some of the songs sounds like I could take the acapella off track 3 and put the same acapella on track 13, and it's still, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to hear a difference in, you know what I'm saying? I want to hear a difference in each record and shit like that. And like when you listen to me, and I think I sent y'all 4 or 5 songs, I don't sound the same on every song, and I've heard that's a good thing and it's a bad thing. But if you was a rapper and y'all was both booking me for a feature, and you want the lyricist Devin, I'm gonna come on a lyrical shit. But if you want the crunk screaming, Pastor Troy, Little Roo style shit, I can give you that too. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be a man of many talents. I want to be able to give you. I'm still hip hop, so I still got the bars and the wordplay. But then I'm gonna get on these crunk tracks with Pastor Troy and Mystical, and I can still rock it with that. I haven't quite figured out how I can mesh with like the mumble rap shit yet, or the like I said, I'm not trying to make songs for 13 to 16-year-olds, but at the same time, like I want to be able to be in the middle somewhere, and that's like my goal. And I feel like every rapper should be doing that right now. Kind of like how we gonna, and like you said, Fat Joe, and where I was getting at with that. When I watched that versus with him and Ja,
Yeah.
I forgot how dope Fat Joe was.
Oh, I did. I knew he
was clowning him like this should be 50. This should not be Fat Joe. We got to come with someone harder. But when he was doing them records and he went from like the old 80s sound, 90s sound to, I was like, you know what? Fuck. Like Fat Joe can spit. And I done forgot. I done forgot about Fat Joe like that. Like Fat Joe, like that motherfucker got some. He got some songs on him.
Hey, remember he said he was killing the summers. He the king of the summer. You know, Fat Joe
had show up just for the summer.
He had like 4 or 5 tracks for the summers.
I think on that New York song with Ja, obviously, like I feel like Ja had the hardest verse, but Fat Joe,
he did.
Fat Joe. I mean, Jadakiss nasty too, but Fat Joe's verse on that New York, Fat Joe's verse. I mean, woo. I mean, like that. Joe had a hard verse on that New York anthem, bro.
I love that anthem. I ain't never been to New York. I love that shit.
Bro, that beat was nasty too.
Oh yeah. Like, we came up, like, back in the day, there was diversity, and it was, like, diversity was the standard, you know what I'm saying? There is no way that you could get 8 MCs talking about kung fu movies and selling dope in this day and era. But the Wu-Tang was a whole real movement. And nobody gave a fuck that they was talking about kung fu movies and selling dope. You know what I'm saying? Das Effects, Kool Moe Dee. Like, you had people that tried shit.
Yeah.
One of the groups that don't never get named in shit, cuz Lords of the Underground.
Oh, Lords of the Underground.
Okay. Lords of the Underground, like, they was with that kind of P-Funk sound from the East Coast.
Yeah.
Like, Dre, they took a whole nother element of Parliament, but EPMD, Lords of the Underground, they also took an element that sounded completely different.
Yeah.
But look, this show has already gone by, cuz we already almost at an hour, man. We're going to have to do it again.
But right before then, right before we hit time, let's do a small time capsule. Right before then, they had not T-Mo, what's the one-legged one?
Cujo.
They had Cujo on Beehive. They were asking him about the verses. They said, who you want to go verses against? He said Dungeon versus the Wu.
That's dope.
You see, and hey, I wish that the verses would actually make sense. Like, some of the verses, I feel like they just kind of pair people up. Yeah. And I don't feel like 3 6 Mafia versus Bone Thugs, I get they had some shots in the past that didn't really make sense to me. But, like,
Snoop and X didn't, even though it was a good versus.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something about Snoop.
They said it was a dog.
I'm a big West Coast fan, and I'm gonna put this in your ear, and I guess we can close on this if you want. But like, I don't think Suge had nothing to do with Pac's death. I feel like it was either the feds, but you know, Snoop was acting kind of funky right before Pac died, and he was over there fucking with them. But who had the most benefit of Pac dying? Snoop was the #1 West Coast rapper until they bailed Pac out and made Pac a West Coast rapper. And you telling me he didn't have resentments from going to #1 to #2? And you telling me, I'm just telling you, like, I fuck with Snoop's music, but when I watched him on that DMX versus, it kind of showed me his nature. You could tell DMX was drunk. You could tell DMX did not want to freestyle and stuff like that. And you could tell DMX was fucking up a little bit. But Snoop kept pushing him and trying to outshine him on that stuff. I'm like, that kind of made me feel like instead of making it like about the culture and being equal, I felt like he was purposely trying to like underdog fucking DMX and kind of go watch it again when they trying to freestyle and you can tell X is too fucked up to do it. He don't want to do it. X knows his limit and he too fucked up and Snoop is still trying to ag him on to do it and trying to
It was a bad parent.
Yeah.
I think Snoop is kind of a life of the party dude. and I don't think it would have mattered who he was up against. It still kind of would have went the same way with the freestyle shit.
No,
Now,
if it was busted, it would have been all right.
Freestyle exposes a lot of people.
That's
the thing.
I'm saying, if
hey,
it was
X
busted,
didn't do that bad, but X wasn't on his A game. You know?
No.
Yeah. But
Do
now
the time capsule.
Busta ain't nobody like. Hey, I think Eminem the God MC, and that's not because I'm a white rapper. It's just because like I look at his bars. But I think Royce the 5'9" versus Eminem would make sense. But when they say who could go at Busta, I think Eminem or like Missy Elliott. I was agreeing with that. But like Busta Rhymes is in his own
lane.
I mean, hey, a lot of people love Jay-Z. I'm not that big of a Jay fan. I think Nas is way better than Jay-Z. I think I had The Dynasty and I had Hard Knock Life. That's the only and Blueprint. That's the only 3 Jay-Z albums I ever really had I like, and I respect them a lot. But I mean, I don't know if Busta and Jay went against each other. I still say Busta would probably take that. Busta got the energy. Some of his songs is crazy. Like when I heard the Break Your Neck beat by itself, but I heard the way his cadence.
He was happy just now.
Bro, Busta Rhymes cannot be touched.
I agree.
Eminem and Busta would be crazy. But then again, like they said, a female, I think Missy Elliott, people don't bring her name up in top female rappers like they should. Like Missy Elliott,
top entertainers.
She's
more than a rapper.
Yeah.
She's more than a rapper. Like she's a rapper, producer, singer, artist. You feel me? So I feel like it's even.
Yeah.
If her creativity plus his creativity give them a budget.
Yeah.
Give them a budget and let them go crazy for the people.
Yeah. No, Busta Rhymes one of my favorite rappers of all time. He easily in my top 20, top 10. Probably.
All right, this is what we're gonna do. This is a time capsule. Time capsule is something we do on the way out.
All right.
Time capsule. Give me 5 R&B singers / groups you want to see 100 years from now.
You want their music to be played 100 years from now.
You want their music to be played?
They gonna be dead.
Yeah, they gonna be dead. They gonna be dead.
I'm not too big on R&B, but I tell you, and you know, and he followed me back on Twitter. And I remember having his CD in high school, and I wish he'd get his life right. But I'd like to see Jaheim come back.
I figured when you said that.
Yep. When I said get your life right, you already knew.
You heard that joint he did with AZ?
Yo, fucking Jaheim was dope, man. I remember being in high school. Forgot to be your love. Like that shit was hard, man.
Yeah.
I like to see Jaheim. Usher gonna be around forever. Here, you know who I miss? Glenn Lewis. Y'all remember Glenn Lewis?
That's real.
What was that song he had? I like, don't forget your way home. That shit was hard. That beat was hard because that had like a little boom bap rap sound to it. What's that? That's 3 right there. Fuck. Who the motherfucker that Death Row had? Death Row had that one dude. What's his name?
Danny Boy?
Yep. I don't think he had time to shine on his own. You know what I'm saying?
Like Moby Dick. He was like Moby Dick.
Really, man, I'm thinking more like the dude singers fucking what's that female? I met on the same tour with DMX and Ja. I met Joelle or Michelle. What's her name? Michelle.
Michelle.
Yeah, I ain't gonna put her in my top 5, but it was dope meeting her. But fucking man, the 5th one, that's kind of hard for me, man. Fucking, I'm not the biggest R&B, but I mean, I would say Jaheim, Usher, Glenn Lewis.
It's Donnell. Ain't no R in there.
That's his first cousin.
I'm telling you.
I would say Raheem Devine because I did a song. I did a song with him. And Jim Star and Marvelous had. Oh yeah, Black Street. Yeah. Hey, the Black Street shit with Dr. Dre. That shit was hard. I'm not the biggest R&B.
I know that's why. That's the whole point of the question.
Yeah. But yeah, now Glenn Lewis was dope to me, man. People, when I bring him up, they're like, "Damn, I'm surprised you remember that." But Glenn Lewis, like, he was dope. I'd like to see him come back.
That's a solid list.
Yeah, I'd like to see Jaheim come back. Jaheim was dope.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Jay Walker.
Oh man. I don't even know where to
Oh
start.
yeah,
So I'll
112.
say
What they had the peaches and cream song. That shit
Yeah.
was dope. That shit was dope. See, I told you, man. Ain't nobody can call me a culture vulture, bro. I know too much about this shit, man. Fucking
Donnell Jones for sure.
Dave Hollister.
Dave Hollister, they ain't really go nowhere. You feel
Yeah.
me? Like they ain't putting nothing out. But Dave Hollister's voice, Carl Thomas. I think if he got with the right producer,
Yeah, I ain't never been a Carl Thomas fan.
you know what I'm saying?
My dog Marcus Allen from South Carolina. That motherfucker be killing everything.
Marcus Allen for real. Marcus Allen for real.
I be doing some graphics for Marcus. Marcus bring me a lot of business. I love and respect Marcus. That's my brother.
We might have to get him on here.
Yeah, you need to, man. Hey, just reach out to him. He'll do it.
We'll get connect from you. We do that.
No,
It's,
Marcus Allen, dope.
Who you got? You ran out?
Of R&B.
Yeah, you got to bring the R&B feel back to the game too now.
You know, growing up, I like TLC. I like the Leah, but you know, that's more like soul.
Aaliyah was like the queen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like she had to compete with Mary in that like hip hop spot. But she was young enough to do it. So Aaliyah would have been all right. We don't know how much music
but
like
hey,
that plane crash took.
But you know what, man? Hey, you know, and I know y'all probably heard of like they're having the battle of releasing her unreleased music right now and stuff. But and I know Timbaland and Swiss Beats started the verses, and they did theirs together. But I would have really loved to see Dr. Dre versus Timbaland because I feel like Timbaland is on that level and he don't get the credit sometimes because you know Dre to me is a producer, but he's a maestro. He got the team to put it together. But the way Timbaland does it. Timbaland is responsible from rock bands to pop artists to R&B artists to rap. Timbaland, he need more clout. Timbaland is the GOAT. I think Timbaland could probably take Dre in a certain light. Dre is always gonna be the GOAT. Dre is like the MJ of production, but
every time he do it, he win.
But
if he produces an album, he win.
But I feel like Timbaland is equal to him, but people, you know, people don't want to.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but as far as R&B, I mean, that would probably that's probably what I can think of at the moment. Yeah,
man, I'm an Aaron Hall fan. Always been an Aaron Hall fan.
Yeah,
I'm a Aaron Hall. I always been a Kels fan. I know what he did.
Now I want to say, you know, hey, I don't give a fuck what he did, bro. You can't take that. I hate that with Bill Cosby and him. I actually feel Bill Cosby innocent though, but I don't know about R. Kelly.
Yeah, he probably innocent. R. Kelly innocent. I'm just saying.
Hey, but what I'm saying, you can't erase like taking down his Spotify record. Like, you can't rewrite history, man. Like the man made these fucking records, and they was there for people's graduations, weddings. These songs are embedded in people's memories, and you just gonna rip them down, like
Nah, man, them streams is going out of this world. He gonna be rich again.
Yeah.
If he ever get out, he gonna be rich again.
No, R. Kelly was dope, but again, I mean, I don't feel like it was all him by himself. When you have artists like that, that's a whole team and machine behind it. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, R. Kelly definitely. But as far as like people I'd like to see again, I feel like Jaheim deserves another shot, and I feel like Glenn Lewis deserves another shot.
Life Jenningz go back to that first album. If Life Jenningz go back to that first album, swag. Nah, but we gonna hit him with the last bar because if not, this conversation's about to get long.
Yeah, man. So we at the last call. The bartender's about to put us out, man. It's been a super dope conversation. The last call is your opportunity, King Killumbia, to like. Share your social. They can hear you everywhere, but let them know everything about you and how to find out how to get your work, whether that be graphic design, music, production, whatever.
Yeah, they don't like you, tell them suck your pinky toe.
Man. Yo, my music shit is King Killumbia. Flowetry. I forgot about them. Yep. KingKillumbia.com. At King Killumbia on everything, and that's another thing we need to point out real quick. I believe it's important for artists or any kind of branding. You need to match on social media. Don't be MC 100 on Instagram. Don't be MC100ABC on Twitter. Like, you need to be at whatever on everything. So at King Killumbia on everything for the music. For the studio, it's at Killumbia Studio, KillumbiaStudio.com. The graphics at Killumbia GFX or KillumbiaGFX.com. And shit, you type in Killumbia, you're going to find me because that shit's big as it is.
Because you got
like,
the trademark. You know what I'm saying? You did the business.
Yep.
Carolina, cuz. It's the last call, man. What you gonna tell the people?
Man, fuck the bartender. I gotta go to work tomorrow.
But I work
just
from
wanna
home, so we all good.
I want to say it was a great time. I shout out to this young brother, and he responded, and we stayed in communication from the beginning to the end. I hope he enjoyed it, so we can bring him back. If not, hopefully we can network together. We can build each other because our plan is the same plan as his. It's just that's his plan, this is my plan, but they both got the same outcome. So maybe we can form something like Voltron. Support and respect, man. Support and respect. You need respect when you wake up out the bed every morning, and you need support more than you know it.
Okay.
So just stay on your P's and Q's. Respect. I'm good.
All right, man. Look, but my final call is this, man. Look, whatever your creative outlet is, man, do your due diligence to be your own biggest supporter. The other supporters gonna come, and whether they come or not, if it's what you love to do, you have an obligation to do that. I want everybody to understand you don't always get the support. It's a lottery ticket sometimes. But you keep working, you keep hustling. If you have something worth a damn to offer people, you keep offering it, man. This is the Bottom of the Bottle podcast. I'm Jay Walking the Third.
Hey.
That's Carolina Dirt 803.
Hey. Throw some ice on that grease. Go ahead and tell that story.
Say what? Man, go ahead. Look, we'll tell that story next time. We appreciate you, King Killumbia, for coming out, man. We definitely gonna have you back, man. We appreciate y'all. Like, share, subscribe to Bottom of the Bottle podcast. Hey, we go.
Stay online. Stay online,
Yeah.
kid.